Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are going to be learning about an artist named Heather Galler. Heather Galler lives in Austin, Texas, and she is what we call a folk artist. Her paintings are very colorful and vibrant. They're very cheerful and fun. She uses lots and lots of color and little designs in her artwork. So we are going to make an artwork inspired by Heather Galler. Today, we are going to be making some vases or some pots that are inspired by that artist, Heather Galler. So to draw our Heather Galler inspired bouquets of flowers, I am going to leave one of these copies in the Google Classroom. So it's just a little drawing guide with numbers and kind of how you can do this. I'm also going to show you in this video so you can either follow along with the handout or you can follow along with me. So let's get started. You're going to need a pencil to draw this first. I'm going to be doing mine with a Sharpie just so it shows up a little bit better and that you can see what I'm doing, but I would like for you to make this drawing with a pencil. So I am going to get out my paper. This is just one of those thicker pieces of paper from your art packet, the big white ones. So what you're gonna do first is draw a few circles at the top of your paper. You can add some details too. You'll also notice that it says paper turned vertically, which means up and down. Not long ways like this, please make sure it's up and down. So we're gonna draw a few circles at the top of our paper. We can have them be different sizes, so you can do some big, some small. You can do some that are medium sized. But we want to kind of spread them out a little bit. Okay, looks good. Now it says you can add some details too, which just kind of means like some little extra. You can do some extra circles around, some little lines in them like this maybe. You could add some little lines sticking off. Okay, it's up to you, and you don't have to add those details if you do not want to. It is totally up to you. Now our second step says to add some flower petals around the circles. Petals can overlap. It's gonna look like some of our flowers are overlapping some of the other ones. So it's gonna be the best if you can get those to overlap. Now a flower petal is pretty easy to draw. It's kind of just like a big hump shape like this. So we're gonna add our flower petals to our flowers. When you're adding your petals, the most important thing to kind of think about is how are these flowers going to overlap? Because we don't want floating flowers, so think about your petals and how they're going to overlap the other flowers. All right, once you have drawn your flower petals, then our step 3 is to add some leaves to fill in the space. So we want to kind of bulk up some of our flowers to make them look fuller. So what we can do is add some leaves to fill in those spaces. So all you can do for a leaf is a curved line, and then another curved line, and then you can draw a straight line down the middle, and then do some diagonal lines that go out to the side. And then the same on the other side. And they kind of match up with those other lines. So we can draw some leaves. Again, think about how these leaves are overlapping or going behind or in front of other flowers. Alrighty, after you have your leaves filled in some of that empty space, we're going to draw our vase or the pot that your flowers are in. So here it says draw 2 diagonal lines, which is going to be this. Boop, boop. And then we're going to make the bottom a kind of curved line. Then we'll add a pattern to our vase or to our pot. So we're gonna start with those diagonal lines, and you'll notice that they look like they kind of start up here, so we want those flowers to look like they are overlapping our pot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have this be my first side, and then my other diagonal line. You want your diagonal lines to be the same length, so you don't want one to be longer than the other one. And then we're gonna connect it with a curved line. Okay, so it's not gonna be straight across. This makes our pot or our vase look rounded. And then I'm gonna add the top part of my vase up here. So I'm gonna kind of put it behind all of these flowers. So it looks like the pot is the flowers are overlapping the pot or the inside of that pot. Okay, then you can add some patterns to your pot however you would like. I'm gonna just do some stripes. And then our last step is going to be to add a horizontal line to show our table. This is gonna go behind your vase, and it's gonna give it the illusion that our vase or our pot is sitting on top of our table. So I'm gonna go back here behind my pot and draw part of my horizontal line, and then skip over to this side and finish off that horizontal line. Now it looks like my pot or my vase is sitting on top of a table. If you would like to add a tablecloth, you can do a checkerboard pattern or whatever kind of pattern you would like for your tablecloth. Okay, so I got my tablecloth done, and so now we're pretty much finished. However, if some of your flowers really look like they are floating, like right now, this guy and even this guy just kind of look like they're floating in the air. What you can do is add some more leaves or some more petals so that it looks like those things are not floating, because we don't want any floating flowers, right? So you can always add some more of those if you would like, so that it does not look like your flowers are floating in the air. I'm gonna add one more here. Today, all we are doing is just making our drawing. So you should have your vase or your pot full of flowers done with a pencil only. And this is all we're gonna do today. So we're not gonna start adding any color to this project until next week, okay? So once yours is done, your first little drawing with pencil is done, I would like for you to take a picture and upload it to our Google Classroom, but then I want you to stop there. We're gonna start coloring next week. Sound good? I can't wait to see your vases. See you later. Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are going to finish up our Heather Galler inspired pots, our little vases, our little bouquet of flowers. We're gonna be coloring these today, and you can choose whatever kind of coloring materials you have at home. I'm gonna be using markers and colored pencils. You can use crayons, you can use just markers or just colored pencils. It is totally up to you, but we're gonna get started. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a couple little more details with my markers. So I'm just gonna kind of outline some of these things and just give it a little bit of spassiness with my marker first. And then I'm gonna color in between with my color pencils. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on my marker part first. All right, so I have added some little details with my markers, and so now I'm gonna switch over to colored pencils and just fill everything in. I like to use markers and colored pencils just so I have some variety in my artwork. So if you would like to just color all with colored pencils or all with markers or all with crayons, it is totally up to you. This is just how I'm choosing to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my coloring. All right, my friends, I am all finished. I love how it turned out. Once you are all finished coloring your Heather Galler inspired vases or pots of beautiful flowers, please make sure you upload a picture to our Google Classroom so that I can see your masterpieces. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys next week.